Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob, and today we're gonna be finishing episode 6 with this final part before we go into episode 7, finally. Man, 3 parts for this one episode. They really started cranking out the story when they got to here, at least for the main story. I think there's a couple of side stories at this point had pretty long chapters. But yeah, regardless, first let me address one quick thing before we get into anything here today, and that is the last episode of this recording. I'm believing it must have got some YouTube wave, and it's surfing its way through everybody's recommended pages. Well, all I can say is thank you everybody for all the views on that video, and especially for all the likes and comments and the subscriptions as well, of course. My god, it has been very entertaining. Is that the word I'm looking for? Very amazing to watch the channel grow for the last couple of days, and especially having just funny conversations on that one episode. So yeah, thank you very much for everybody who has watched, subbed, liked, all the shits. I pretty much enjoy it and appreciate it. So thank you. So, this episode, right. If people cannot tell by the music that I put in the background, which is obviously in-game music, we're getting into shit. Especially for people who are new to the story, we're getting into shit. Which I'm looking forward to how, if people are gonna leave comments on this episode. I'm mostly interested to hear how people originally reacted when they went through here. Maybe even people who are watching this for the first time here in this channel. I wonder how your reactions are gonna be to the end of this this episode. But yeah, there's gonna be potentially a part, usually, again, for newer people who are bumping into this, all of these recordings, or rather the majority of recordings on this channel, but specifically these story recordings, are one single long uncut takes. Yes, I am sitting here for literally 2 hours doing voices at times. And that doesn't take into consideration if, like for this episode the day before, I was literally reading through this for reminder's sake. But yeah, what I wanted to say is there is potentially going to be parts in this recording today where it's going to sound like there is zero audio cues, or maybe you're going to hear me just take a breath. I'll need a moment at certain points. Even if I've experienced this part so many times, I'll probably need a moment. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say to that one. But regardless of that, considering this is a very long session so far, or rather this one chapter took up like 3 freaking episodes, I will, like I do for some of the, like I did for some of the side stories, gonna, I guess, voice my opinions at the end, sorta review style kind of things. So if you want to stick around for that at the end of the episode, you're pretty much welcome to. I'm probably gonna ramble about shit, be it right or wrong. If I'm wrong about something, obviously everybody's free to remind me of shit, or to just correct it. I'm obviously gonna take anything. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, obviously. But yeah, let's do the usual spiel of in the last episode. Oh boy, where to begin with the last episode, considering it's taking place along 2 different timelines. Okay, let's start with the present timeline taking place in Lungmen before we go over the scenes that we're taking back in Chernobyl. So in the Lungmen timeline, in the second part, we pretty much get a lot of scenes of just people still progressing through the slums and people running into each other quite a lot, considering all the factions are pretty much butting heads at this point. But yeah, the most important parts were Shen and Spire still going through the slums, mopping up Reunion as they go. But Shen gets on a radio with one of her informants called Nine, and Nine pretty much tells her two things. One, that she's gonna leave Lungmen with the Reunion squad she's currently with. The other one, that Shen should not go deeper into the slums. Which then brings us to another radio call, which Swire initiates between the two of them and Lin Yusha. And they pretty much talk about, pretty much insult each other, which is always funny to listen to. But most importantly, talk about the black raincoats that are up and about through the city. And apparently are doing shit behind the back of everybody. Lin pretty much confirms that yes, they are under the Rat King, but obviously those would not move in this kind of fashion if not authorized by someone higher. And that someone higher is, well, a certain big Durgan man. Let's put it that way. Then we get a bunch of scenes where finally Reunion, or rather Yeti Squad, the LGD, and the Rhode Island forces finally clash into each other before we black away from that. But then, in the past scenes in the Chernobog rescue operation, we finally see the moment where Blaze joins the fray. Just as a reminder, that whole Chernobog thing was the Rhode Island squad going in to save 3 of their operatives, Frostleaf, Meteorite, and Jessica, only to be in a very compromised position, put into that position by Yeti Squad, aka Frostnova and her elite soldiers. Soldiers is a stretch to say, but yeah. They get pushed into a corner, and then, as per usual, Blaze, Superman dives into the battlefield out of a plane. I'll say this. I am not afraid of heights. I can stand on a freaking glass platform over a fucking cliff looking into an abyss below me, and I will be fine. Because I know that I will not fall through. Jumping, on the other hand, out of a height, stressful. Jumping without a parachute, I do not even want to imagine. Blaze? My god, please stop it. My heart sinks every time I have to read those lines. I will not lie. Anyway, Blaze joins the fray. Frostnova and her butt heads. And the high friction between very extreme heat from Blaze and very extreme cold from Frostnova and the Yetis causes the superstructure below them to collapse, and luckily or unluckily in that whole commotion, the only two who literally fall through the ground are Frostnova and the Doctor. Meanwhile, on the surface, as those two are cut off from everybody else way below ground, the Rhode Island team and the Yetis decide on a ceasefire. They have some very nice moments together, or will, rather, while they keep digging for Frostnova and the Doctor. And meanwhile, in the underground, let's call it that, the Doctor and Frostnova have a interesting conversation, so to speak, which I'm not gonna abridge right now, because that one's a long part, but essentially, I would rather encourage everybody to, if you haven't seen it already, go and watch that part by yourself, or rather on the last episode if you wanna just listen to it. But essentially, it's Frostnova telling the Doctor about her painful past. And oh boy, that was a lot of things. Essentially, her parents, including the grandmother, being falsely accused of something they've never did, put into a mine, put into pretty much slave work, contracting a ripper fee, the military that runs the mine pretty much treating them as how do you even want to call that? They were literally just shooting them for sport when they felt like it. And then at the end, Frost Nova's turn to be executed, resulting in her activating her skills for the first time, her arts. Bulldor Casti, aka Patriot, coming in with his guerrilla squad and wiping out all the military, and pretty much adopting young Frost Nova as his daughter. And then we also get a bit about Patriot in that whole spiel, about how he was a highly decorated Ursa's military man. I think he was he a general? No, he wasn't a general, right? Can't remember right now. But yeah, very high in the military, very decorated, retreated somewhere outside of the city, had a son. He himself is obviously a Wendigo. His son, who was also a Wendigo, obviously, was probably one of the first Wendigos that went for a scholar position. But at the end, on a protest, got killed by the military, which led Patriot to collect his most loyal men and start his guerrilla operations and bring terror to the tundra of Ursus and its military that is stationed there. And yeah, we end it on a bet between Frost Nova and the Doctor. The bet being, if Frost Nova's forces go in first to save them, she will kill the Doctor. If it's Rhode Island, they can kill her. So yeah, here we are. Let's begin with literally the part after, 6:14. Also, apologies, I will have to keep the mouse on screen today. I usually keep it off screen, but considering how many bits there will be where the Doctor speaks, this will make it easier than having to pay attention if the mouse is on this screen or my secondary screen where the recording software is. So yeah, let's begin with stage 6:14 and its title, Frost Upon the Tundra. As per usual, let me bump up the volume, but not too much for the background, considering there's gonna be 1 or 2 tracks today that are gonna be super loud. And let's begin. The Yetis. I feel so bad for them to all die in Lungmen like that. One less hope, one less legend for the infected. Move it, the LGD are on the way. I know. There's something not quite right about your eyes. To be honest, I always thought you were a spy for Lungmen. How about now? No one would believe it anyway. A real spy would kill you to keep you quiet. I'm not worried about you killing me. Look at the state of Lungmen. Even if you were a Lungmenite, you can't go back. You'd have an even worse time than we did. So I'm not really anything anymore. What are you doing? Wow, is that a flower? Oh, is that your art? That's pretty. Someone has to leave them a token of respect. Such dilly-dallying, such a waste of time. I think it was well done. I can give top marks for wiping out the entire reunion movement in the city of Lungmen in a single day. Wei and Wu is impressive. Taihei, have you heard that rumor? You speak of Wei and Wu's history? Delve not into such things. Forgive me, but how do the skills of the Black Cloaks compare to those of the Imperial Guard? You overestimate them, but they do intend to have some exceptional skill. Look out. You bastards! Infected? Wire? You don't really want to kill me, do you? You can use arts. I've always heard that men who use wires as weapons are literally all psychopaths. Indeed, they do say that. Infected, do not interfere with official business. Take care that I lump you in with the others. Not much to be done about the unidentified armed units getting killed on the battlefield, is there? We can likewise testify that you are acting in coordination with Reunion. You don't have the authority to investigate my partner. We are all well aware that a vessel belonging to an infected countermeasure specialist is docked in Lungmen berth, Superintendent Shen. This is the only reason Miss Blaze has not yet come to harm. Then how much more do you need to see? How much more must you test the people of the city with their very lives? Speak with respect. We are assessing Lungmen's risk control capabilities due to the importance with which we regard you. Then forgive me. I'll rephrase. Are you enjoying this farce? Stand down, Blaze. We do not serve these fine, upstanding individuals, and they're not with the raincoats either. Apologies, Miss Blaze. I hope I did not cause you any displeasure. You're very polite, but your tone pisses me off. You have an ear for young speech. You inherited much from your father. Alas, now you are but an infected. Your path is rough and short. You... Come. Goodbye then, Miss Blaze. Superintendent Shen. Wait, what did you just say about my dad? Stop! Please. Remember the mission. Right. Officer Shen. We found no trace of the enemy commander. Which? We only know of Mephisto. Let Rhode Island... Whoa. Pardon. Let Rhode Island handle the rest. No need to rush into it. This campaign is all but over. But he has to pay for the atrocities he committed. Then we'll leave it to you. Let's part ways for now. I have one more thing I need to see with my own eyes. Wait a minute, LGD lady. What is it? Thanks for that, back there. That's all. Sure, you too. Why did you have to pick that moment to act? Please, you're not the type to make mistakes at a time like this. For one thing, I was really mad. For another, I could tell that the LGD lady Shen was getting mad too. He also can't tell which of the two sides has the right to speak. So I pick the one I like. Sorry, it won't happen again. No, please, it's my turn to say it won't happen again. But I can't say that. I can't promise that. The Yetis... Silly rabbit. Hey, don't pat my head. I need to get taller. At least don't pat it too long. I know, I know. How do you feel? You? I was in the neighborhood. Your emotional state is fluctuating. It seems you had a deeper interaction with this reunion unit in the Chernobog ruins. As far as I can tell, the captain of this unit did not participate in the battle. That means... Lungmen will not keep chasing the infected, but Rhode Island has to do more. Lungmen won't interfere with what happens next, and you can choose not to participate. But you will participate, whether the infected is condemned, Mephisto or Frostnova. And where are you going? I have my work cut out for me. Oh, and Doctor. Don't look at me like that. Amia and Rhode Island need trust. But you and me don't need trust. You need the trust of Rhode Island's operators, not me. I know you too well to trust you, just like you never trusted me in the old days. How would I know the old days? Right. I misspoke. Forget it. Be careful in your next operation, Only the most dangerous of commanders would train such a squad of infected who would fight to the death without flinching. Of course, it's up to you if you want to see it through to the end. And do conserve your energy. We may not have time to rest. The battle for Lungmen is over. It's not that simple. At least, that's what I think. Doctor, from now on, it's up to you to decide if you will shoulder the burden of responsibility for Rhode Island. Whether or not be one worthy of the trust of a Rhode Island operator. Ah, Frostnova, ma'am, you're awake. Take it easy. Let me help you. I'm fine. I'm not so fragile. Where are you going? You can't go back. Then my brothers and sisters. You can't go back. It was for your sake that they... Don't insult my squad. They did look out for me. But it was for the infected that they gave their lives so bravely. They fought their last battle so that more of their people could live, not for the sake of any one person. Frostnova, ma'am. Enough with the ma'am. Are you calling me that because I look weak to you? Sorry. It's just... they put you in our care like this. And now they're gone. And I've never got to keep my promise to them. I don't even have a chance to make amends. Frostnova. The one slumped at the wall there. Mephisto. He's still unconscious? We, don't know. He's been like that for the whole time. He says nothing, does nothing. Take him back. It's enough. Understood. I thought you'd... I'd what? I thought you'd kill him. There's no need for that anymore. I think I know what happened outside the slums. That disheartened look in his eyes. Oh? And from time to time, I recall that day 3 or 4 years ago when he tried his very hardest to sing. He can sing, but Faust said his throat... He really tried. Just like all of us infected, though we will all someday succumb to neuropathy, we still try our very best to live. Let the rest of his life continue to punish him. Tell me, Phantom Crossbowman, was Rhode Island involved in that fight? Do you mean... no, as far as I know, they didn't fight the Yetis. So childish. Are you sure you want to stay? They may not come after us, Frostnova. You don't have to die here. I met a few people in the ruins. I want to see them again. I promised them, actually. And I know they're coming. Frostnova. Go on, brother. Reunion lost this battle, and just maybe Reunion did wrong. But you haven't. You still have a choice. You can do better. Go on, and don't look back. Alright, moving on to stage 615, titled Nostalgia. 2 parts here. Let's begin with the before story. <clears throat> 12:21 p.m. Ruins of Chernobog, District 14. Sector surface. What the hell? Yeti Squad, why have you stopped firing? What are you waiting for? Dig out these ruins, huh? Didn't you plant your Reginium? Why not collapse the whole plate and wipe out Rhode Island all at once? Are you kidding? Frost Nova is still down there. Then we'll deal with Rhode Island. You guys keep digging. We'll be right there. Not on this block. The superstructure in this sector is completely shredded. An untrained team fighting here collapse. Wiping out Rhode Island is a top priority. You can take care of it. I'm not gonna argue with you. We'll fight what we gotta fight. Who decided on this priority anyway? It's obvious our most important strategic goal. Were you thinking about strategic goals when you vented your anger on the Ursus? We'll do what we can. Give us some space. Did you communicate with Rhode Island? You're betraying the movement. What's going on over there? I think we have to fight. If you think communication is tantamount to betrayal, then that's your prerogative. With that kind of tactical thinking, it's no wonder you're getting led around by the nose. Yetis, what are you up to? We outnumber you 100 times over, so don't be stupid. Come on, we fought the Ursus standing army like a million times. Who's getting excited over a big angry mob? Just you wait. Hey, Rhode Island? We might have to teach these unruly bastards a lesson. You should probably stay out of it. We don't want to be accused of collaborating with the enemy. Huh, collaborating? What are you talking about? Amiya, what happened in the ruins and what's the official party line on it? Nothing happened. We were fighting Yeti Squad and no other reunion unit joined the battle. Acting? I'm a phenomenal actress. What do you say we put on a show and then take care of these guys in the ensuing chaos? Sounds good to me. What does your captain think? Excuse me, sir. How should I call you? Well, you're a really cute girl, but I'm not sure I'm ready for anything like that. Ready for what? What are you thinking? Oh, sorry, I'm just playing around. You can call me Yeti number 1, I guess. Alright, Mr. Yeti number 1, we've got lives to save, don't we? So, let's subdue the reunion units that could interfere with our rescue mission. Yep, I'm plenty motivated now. And where exactly did you get that motivation? Blaze the overprotective. Anyway, moving on to the after story. Blaze, I need you to lead the team to seize the advantage. You want to organize a raid? I'm very worried about our current situation. Both we and the Yetis have used our respective skills to locate the Doctor and Frost Nova. Thanks to your arts, they are now safe. And the two are very close. If we can save one, you can save the other. There are two things we can't be sure of right now. First, who will reach them first? Second, Frost Nova's attitude. Exactly. If we get the initiative, we'll have to subdue Frost Nova immediately, but we also have to train her for Yeti Squad's cooperation. That way we avoid fighting and also deepen the opportunity for communication. But if we get there first... Amiya, the heartbeat detector found something. We have a position, but we don't know the depth. Right. Hey, wait! Where's the fire? Aww. As soon as the Doctor comes up, she gets all panicky and forgets herself. I'm not sure if this is a bug in Amiya or a feature. You know, the stuff she just said, that's not like her at all. She came up with it too fast. At least she didn't come around to a sneak attack. This one's on us. Not quite. If we ambush them, the Yetis would just fight to the death. I'm here to rescue you all, not to cause more casualties. She didn't give up on the winning outcome. I guess I should apologize. It's the mercenary in me. You didn't do it, did you? Keeping a level head after her victories and keeping to her tactical goals are what makes me trust Amiya as a field commander. I'm gonna go check on the Yetis. Huh? This structure, it's so complicated, it makes my head hurt. Describe it to me and I'll draw it up. Huh? I didn't even finish my 8th grade textbook in middle school. Give me a break. What did you do instead of class again? I went to train. Why not let Nasty try? He's got some arts, doesn't he? He's all about reciting poetry and writing essays. That's not your structural probing business. Well, why not try express it through numbers? Oh, good idea. I'm okay with math. Let's try it. Does it feel hot to you? No, I'm wearing this thick, heavy thing, and even so, I still feel Sisters of Virginium freezing my skin off. Oh. Hi, Rhode Island Cat. Sorry, but when I sweat, the air around me heats up, and then I just keep sweating. Thanks to you guys, I'm feeling a lot cooler than usual. Are you nervous? A little. I never thought I'd be working with the enemy. For now, at least, we aren't enemies. After digging out our sister, we'll do what she says. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. You guys really aren't anything like the other Reunion folk. You think the rest of Reunion is all the same? Are you and the bunny the same? Hey, yeah, good point. We've got all kinds of on our side. Everyone's got all kinds. At least you're willing to listen to us. The Ursa soldiers all just shoot on sight. The arrows start flying and they don't stop until one side is dead. Good thing we're a pharmaceutical company, not a bunch of Ursa soldiers. Do pharmaceutical companies all have equipment like yours? The world is a dangerous place and we have to protect ourselves, right? It would be nice if you spent your instead of battling. If you can grow a harvest of red wheat, you'll feed half a town starving infected. If they weren't starving, they wouldn't have gone into that little town. Then they wouldn't have been shot. If only. Enough of that. He's pretty sentimental. You know, I think all Ursas are pretty sentimental. No slacking off. Oops. Sorry. Time to get back to work. No big deal. Go back to your work. But that thing you're carrying, it's got a powerful smell. Oh, What's she talking about? Nothing. Don't worry about it. Hey, am I peckish? Oh? What are you looking at me for? 15:22 p.m. 15. Is it important to put 15 if p.m. there if it's 15? If it's the like European time measurement thing? I guess? I don't know. Is it a thing? Someone tell me. It's weird to me. Anyway. Ruins of Chernobog, District 14. Sector surface. 3 hours into the excavation operation. Amiya, stop. Your fingers are bleeding. Stop digging with your hands. But I can feel something down there. Right down here. I can't feel it if I'm using a tool. I have to use my fingers to pick up on the tiny whisper of a feeling. Amiya. It's close. Meteorite? But leave her be. If you let them get there first. It's okay, you can do it. Use arts. I can't. I really can't. We can do this even without our sister, right? Hurry up and make the temperature nice and different. The bigger the difference, the better. I'll try, but don't blame me if it doesn't work. Who else can we blame besides you? Don't tease him. He has to concentrate. Here. Right here. Wall? Did I get it wrong? Just smash it. Break through. But if it collapses, I got it wrong. It's open. Blaze, meteorite. On it. Get ready. Well, you win. Said I won't lose. Uh, you didn't give me a winning choice. Sister. This one. This is the one they call the doctor. Hi. The leader of Rhode Island. That's me. You can call me Amia. Her rings are turning red. Aren't you going to stop her? Why would I stop our only chance at winning? Please. I respect Amia's decision. Amia? No. Doctor. Nasty, is Rhode Island not fighting you? No, they're not. Then here on this battlefield, we are not enemies. Trust Noah. There is no reason to fight if we are not enemies. Go back, Doctor, to your people. Our sister is so magnanimous. Like she needs your approval. Quiet down. Little rabbit. My name is Amia. You're going to Lungmen too, aren't you? That's right. Then we will be enemies before long, little rabbit. Just not today. Frost Noah, you and your team aren't as destructive as the other reunion units. Don't blame my people. You don't know what they've been through. But you don't want them to go on like this. Oh? It seems you can read my mind? I can't, but I do sense your unease and your consternation. All of this will be swept away after the fall of Lungmen. Rhode Island, we can honestly understand you and your squad. You may think I'm wrong and that we don't understand you at all. But Frost Noah, ma'am, I know exactly what you've been through. Childish. Frost Noah, those clothes aren't yours, are they? They're not. This was once the cloak of the Patriot. I wove it into a coat. Oh. How can you tell? Never mind. Everyone has some things they can't say, I suppose. Frost Noah, Rhode Island does not seek out conflict. We want to avoid unnecessary bloodshed. And which bloodshed was necessary? At the very least, we don't want to fight your squad. They are all good, decent people. We absolutely cannot hurt them, or let them hurt innocent people. Then you must pray we do not meet again. Frost Noah, I think I don't much want to hurt you either. But if I have to, I will kill you all. You know, you can come to Rhode Island. We don't have to fight. Then you can try to beat me. Defeat me in battle, and I will consider it. But of course, once we meet on the battlefield, we are enemies. And as enemies, we will fight to the death. Oh, yes, this one, for the fox. What? A special remedy for frostbite. One-of-a-kind recipe. It relieves the burning and pain. I've studied these things for a long time, and you fought very well back there. Warriors willing to sacrifice themselves are the strongest in my eyes. Thank you. Frost Noah. Hey, wait, I have something to say too. Yeti number 1? Oh, huh? What's happening? Let's get a drink next time. Your vodka smells great. Don't say that out loud. Goodbye, Rhode Island. I hope we never meet again. Lungmen substructure. Here you are after all. Hello, Frost Noah. Hello, Frost Rhode Island. Alright, and as per usual, the S stages are pretty much just there to grind out materials, so we are going straight to 6-16, titled Black Rabbit, White Rabbit. Only a before part. So here we go. She doesn't look right. The Originium crystals floating in the air beside her. How is that possible? It's repulsive dissociation. Did the Originium crystals permeate her skin to form black ice crystals, along with the water molecules in the air? Permeate? Permeation? Shit. Shit. Please. Doesn't it hurt? Doesn't that hurt her? Don't you feel pain, White Rabbit? Enough. That's enough. Why are you doing this? Stop it. Amiya? I don't like the look on your face. Wait. Amiya, don't do it. Don't reach into her mind. I didn't. I'm not using arts, but her emotions. Her emotions are pouring into my consciousness. I've been waiting for you. You want to kill Reunion's commander, don't you? Now she's standing right in front of you. Here's your target. Get hot. Burning hot. Hot. Is that her emotions? Team, stand by. Frost Nova, we don't need to waste our breath here. Lungmen exists. Lungmen exiled the infected without a care as to where they could go. They are not coming. Even though there were still thousands of infected people in the city, Lungmen resigned them to their fate. No one will interfere in our fight. So many of us, against you alone? What else? Honestly, we're a little outnumbered. No one should be stupid enough to take an avalanche head-on. But actually, head-on against an avalanche, I think I'd come out on top. But you're one of those, like where all the cold in the world gathers up into a single focal point. I thought your Yeti squad was pushing your abilities to the limit, making your arts more powerful and effective. I was wrong. They didn't make you stronger. It was your arts that made them stronger. As long as my brothers and sisters are with me, I can't risk hurting them by releasing my full power. But now, they're all dead. There are no living things left around me. The temperature has dropped dramatically. Not good. Such a low temperature, it's throwing off my instruments. I no longer have a reason to contain the winter within me. What the hell? Does Reunion have its own walking catastrophe? What is the lowest temperature Originium arts have ever achieved? I've got a feeling she's breaking records one after another right now. Frostnova, I'll ask you again. Are you serious about this? Anything else you want to say? Yeah. Knock it off, White Rabbit. You're going to get yourself killed. You're really going to die. You're strong enough already. You don't have to push it this hard. You don't have to do this to get a fight. If you want to fight, fight all you want after this. I don't want to see infected killing each other. There's no reason for us to fight to the death here. No. Please. Ready up. Gee, froze my fingernails. They're cracking. You really want to kill us? I have a reason. As commander, I've lost. But as a warrior, I'm still in the fight. Amiya 1, Blaze 4. All units, do you copy? Exit the area, now! You too, Gabriel. Because you can't come back to save us if you don't get out now. Who's the best sniper in our squad? Me. You might die. Are you sure you want to volunteer? I'm sure. I'm the best at the moment. Okay, Greythroat, you stay. Everyone else, get the hell out. Hurry! Why did you withdraw your team during a decisive battle? Up against Frostnova, the number of squads doesn't make a difference. They have no way to protect themselves, and she can kill in an instant. There's not much you can do, even with someone as skilled as Rangers. It's not the archery, it's the materials. My crossbow seems to be useless already. It'll be good for a bit, but you decide whether it works or not. If it was up to me, I'd take a few shots at her with Rhode Island's main guns. That'd be pretty helpful. Or conjure up a dozen fire team to spray ammo and arts into her to see what she can take. She'll run out of steam eventually, but maybe not before we do. Did you bring a tourniquet? You should ask me if I have any anticoagulants with me. The kind that won't mess up. Blaze, you asked earlier why Frostnova could endure the pain of Originium crystals piercing her skin. I know why. I can feel it. She could endure it because the pain inside her was worse. Several times worse. Now, Doctor, you need to go too. No. Doctor! Do you want to see it through? To be a trustworthy doctor? I want to see it through. Amiya? Doctor is committed. Doctor of Rhode Island. Your decision won't do them any favors. So why do you do it? I told you you can come to Rhode Island. And I will fight shoulder to shoulder with my operators. I get it. Blaze, Greythroat, Doctor. It's going to be an uphill battle. Check it out, White Rabbit. That's our Doctor and Amiya. Oh. Don't do this. Whatever. Are you ready? Let's get started. Forward! Explosion! A fine attack. Ice blades? Kitten, do you think I'm a caster? So frail? Are you serious? The heat currents writhing on your saw blades are no match for my cold. You cannot stop my frost. I didn't underestimate you, but I didn't think my saw can come through a city wall, and you can't block it. To me, your movements, your strength, it doesn't even register. Next, we go for the throat. Air, compression, demolition. That was a close call. I almost got an ice blade through my jugular. Huh. That's right. You're a warrior, just like me. What do I do, Amiya? I'm running out of ideas. Time to tag you in. Amiya, my fingers are getting too cold to pull the trigger. We have to end this quickly. Her Originium arts are 100 times stronger than they were back in the ruins. And she's not out of tricks yet. It won't be enough. If I don't loosen my rings, everyone will freeze to death. Frostnova. Don't even think about it. Huh? My finger! I watched your entire battle with Tallulah. Tweaking these rings enhances your arts. 10 rings, all of them frozen? You are too childish to be a warrior. So you chilled a few rings. You've got a mouth on you, don't you? Huh? What the? I turned up the heat this high and they're not melting at all. Blaze, stop it, don't waste blood. This is a very powerful and very fine Originium art. The cold stream swept along the Originium crystals and wrapped around us as we entered the area. She hit us with it before it could get cut off by your thermal currents, without us even noticing. My arts can't cut through. The battle began as soon as you set foot in this room. These 10 frost rings will drain your body heat and squeeze your Reginium arts. The more power you apply to them, the stronger and colder the ice crystals become. Pathetic. Eruption, energy store, reserves. Trying to defeat me with a few tricks. Do you know what you're up against? Grey Throat, Piercing Bolt. Roger, 6th shot ready. The Tallulah I knew would engineer your demise long before it all began. Air compression, fire! Loose. And now Rhode Island is just like those bolts. What? What? Did the bolt freeze in midair? Truly pathetic. She knocked it off course with her airstream, then broke it with cold? Grey Throat? What are arrows made of? It's Rhode Island's standard issue carbon fiber hybrid aluminium. Oh no. We're in trouble. Even somewhat shameful. Whatever she knows it or not, her arts have reached a level that's well beyond anything the damned scholars are talking about these days. Just a little pinch and you fall to pieces. Think about it. I'm just the leader of Yeti Squad. Reunion is controlled by the woman named Tallulah, who intercepted you at Chernobog and killed your friends. What do you think Tallulah is? The leader of Reunion, the infected messiah? There is no such thing. Whatever image you have of her in your head, if she were some kind of messiah, the old man and I wouldn't be leading Reunion at all. She was at first a military officer, then a warrior, and finally a leader. But she has betrayed us. The most determined and committed warrior I've ever known was actually a case of assumed identity. And her last remaining enemies are people like you who have no resolve and never had to look death in the face. Watch your tone, White Rabbit. You're not the only one who puts her life on the line. You have remorse in your eyes too. You don't have to tell me. You are not ready to accept their deaths. That's enough. Am I ready? I've thought about it so many times, seen them dying so many times in my nightmares. I just never thought... You're the same way, kitten. I can see that. I imagined my tragic death, but I never thought it would be so lonely. You had brothers. So did I. The Rhode Island operator who fought Tallulah at Chernobog were each quite heroic. The one they called Ace was a warrior tenacious to a level I've rarely seen in my life. He fought with an emotion few warriors do. Sorrow. We're not close enough yet that I'm feeling really comfortable talking about my old battle buddies with you. Only a fighter who incessantly reflects on his battles would be concerned. He was a good warrior. As are you. Puh. He died alone. Are you sorry you lost him? Of course. Do you regret not having the chance to save him? Absolutely. Aren't you going to ask anyone? Ask. Ask that question you don't know how to form, but you don't know who to ask. You... Why? Such strong emotions. Krasnova. Why? Why wasn't I there? Why wasn't I stronger? Why didn't I stop it? The temperature is still dropping. Stand by me. Her cold is overpowering. It's all I can do to keep the air around me warm. Why? Why did I fall to the ground when my brothers and sisters needed me most? They're all fools who only know how to help each other, who only want to survive, who only want a place to live. Why can't they even grant the wishes of a bunch of idiots? Why is Ursus so cruel to our people and so callous to ordinary Ursus? Why is it that the little flame that could ignite the world has to be extinguished in this foreign land? Why is it that in the war we waged to put a stop to evil, I wasted more lives? Why did we give up our lives, only to have achieved a lie? Why? Why won't this world give me a little more time? The infected should be proud of who they are, and use the simplest means to seize justice from the world. At first I saw it as only a part of the reunion ideal. Indeed, it brought strength to the infected. They stopped thinking of themselves as the Empire's fodder. But now I realize that the beliefs that Tallulah once taught us about, the ideas that deemed grassroots support, and the goals that must be constantly reinforced and corrected, are all gone. Only instigation, only indulgence. We were thrown into the thoughts of battles, in the toughest of battles, with no input in the ranks. And it all came too soon. If this is all Tallulah's doing, then she deceived everyone from the very beginning. The things are often not as they seem. If she would take the infected to the darkest of futures, to complete her most wicked plan, then her evil must be destroyed. But my brothers and sisters, the countless dead infected and uninfected, nothing can bring them back. What made her this way? It shouldn't be like this. It never should have been. My people, my brothers and sisters. Amiya. Do you hear that, Amiya? Frost Noah. The cold stream is too much. She can even condense it into a form? It's blasting away at my heat flow. Is she cold enough to chill your body heat? Is the cold enough to chill your body heat? Is deaf enough to make you squeamish? You won't, Amiya, and you can't. You can read minds, can't you, Bunny? Read now, then. My rage, the heat that has been stifled by bitterness and boiled in my breast for more than a decade, and you never give up beating, and yet never give up beating. Read it, Amiya. Read it well. How much anger is there in this heart over dead loved ones, over the corrupted Ursus, over the infected, over the people of Ursus, in his heart that will not stop, that will not die. Did you ever hate her, Miss Frostnova? I never hated her. Even if she was the cause of all this pain today, I have never hated her. What does hatred bring you and me? I have nothing but endless, seething rage for this despicable planet. How about you? Don't you have such anger in your heart? Don't you have relatives who died of oropathy? A friend who died thanks to the indifference of this world? You haven't lost the people you depend on to survive, to give you something to live for. Just proclaiming a certain philosophy, just taking on a certain art, just organizing a few teams. Will that be enough to defeat Tallulah? It's time to wake up from your fantastical dreams. I get it, Miss Frostnoa. Everything that just flooded into my mind, I know what it is. What's pushing Rhode Island forward? What motivates you to keep fighting? Dead ahead, a huge cold stream. It's just about the shape of a dagger. If this keeps up, I'll have to surrender my back and gather the heat flow in front of me as a shield. But her cold stream was robbing the air of its molecular vibrations. Even if I managed to form the shield, I couldn't hold it for long. Doctor, come on, you must have some idea. Since we can't break it, we'll just have to hold on. That's like saying nothing. No, the doctor is right. Frostnova doesn't have much life left in her. If we can hold out, we win. What are you talking about? If we do that, she'll die. It was her choice, and the only choice she left us. What about your choices? In the face of evil that must be destroyed, in the face of the betrayer who has usurped the ideas of the infected, what is in your heart? Why does it beat? If you can't even defeat me, how are you going to face her? How are you going to lead the countless infected? How are you going to fight against this malignant world? Frostnova. Thank you. But I can't be mad at you. You are wasting my time. No, Frostnova. I know what I'm going to do. I can't really read minds, and reading hearts doesn't mean I can understand someone better than people who don't have this ability. I just can't refuse. I can't shut off the emotions that pour out of you, flooding my mind with pain and worry and anger. You're sober and calm, but the anger burns so hot that I want to pull back. But I can't. Frostnova, I know exactly what I have to do. I will not refuse you. Miss Frostnova, I felt it. Why are you crying? Frostnova, you... No. Wipe your tears. You will not cry before your enemy. Amiya, tell me your answer. Go ahead, Amiya. Doctor. If we must fight, then we fight to the end. Doctor, we are going to fight for Frostnova. Only one side walks out of here. Yes, you will fight now. You will now fight me. Only one of us leaves. If you can defeat me, it means someone will be able to survive. I am willing to join Rhode Island. I am willing to fight together with you against the enemies of the infected. Your way. This is my burden to bear. I hope you keep your word. When I make a promise, I keep it. And, Miss Frostnova? The infected don't need anyone to lead them. We're just fighting for the same beliefs, not for any one person. Never for any one person. That's right. Corruption must be eradicated. Defeat me and defeat Tallulah. What are you? I can be anyone. Who are you fighting for? For everyone. Good. Amiya? Thank you. Even time itself will freeze here. The cold is moving in on us. Great throat? Ready. Doctor, stay by my side. I'll try to protect you. Frostnova? You will die here in this battle, and I will extinguish your absurd fantasies. or defeat me. Defeat me, and show me hope. Alright, obviously I don't show battles in this one. This one is pretty much just a straight up battle against Frost Nova as she goes through the lanes of the level. The only thing I will do is add this little description of the level to this narration. Before us stands the commander of the Yeti Squadron, Frost Nova, enhanced with a terrifying power we've never seen before. As she is one of the strongest warriors in Reunion, we now utilize every bit of our strength to overcome her. And while I do not show battles in this, I will obviously have to show this cinematic battle stage, titled Winter's End. Text says, "We chose to fight to the bitter end. She did as well." The story bit here is post-stage. And, well, we know who's fighting here. I've reached the limit of how long I can maintain my arts. Her arts even have a persistent effect? Even so, even if that is the case, I won't pull back my hand. I don't care, even if every drop of blood in my body is to run dry. I will not let you pass. So this is as far as I could go.
Mission accomplished.
I wish they would have cut out the mission accomplished and just let the text scroll across the screen, including the battle victory music. That slightly ruins the moment, but anyway. Oops, almost clicked the wrong thing. Right. After battle story. Here we go. It's shattered. The old man got this from some wizard. Said it would keep me alive. Didn't even make it through one fight, huh? I guess it was fake. Just like I'm his fake daughter, maybe. And now like Reunion as well. Huh? Please. The cold's gone. I'm fine. Amiya, hurry, go check on the White Rabbit. Nice win, Rhode Island. My brothers and sisters. I'll let them die in vain. We accomplished nothing. My life wasn't worth anything at all. They followed you because of your ideas. My death isn't worth anyone's time. Go save who you can. Hurry. Go. Whether it's stopping the raincoats, going to kill Mephisto, or sheltering the infected who have nowhere else to go. Go. Go do something worthwhile. Doctor, You go. Okay. Doctor, please tell her. Please? What a naive rabbit. Just like Tallulah back then. Very familiar. To be able to see someone like this before I die, someone so determined to realize their ideals. Didn't you promise to join Rhode Island? I guess that's been swirling around in your head, huh? Villains are what villains are. I have no complaints about the ending I deserve. I have hurt you. Reunion and I targeted innocent Lungmenites and single-handedly let the Ursus infected into this nightmare. Such people have no business at Rhode Island. My brothers and sisters, those fools must have tried to keep me alive, huh? I thought that even if I died here, those idiots would get a place where they could live in peace. Wrong and wrong, they died. To protect me, a woman who didn't have much time left to begin with. I'm not happy. We were used and abused. Our lives thrown away. I'm not happy. This last moment of life, this does not belong to me. They bought this with their blood. This little bit of life, I must give it to someone trustworthy. Thank you. Even if we survived, where is there to go? We had nowhere. The only thing we ever knew was the snow. Lungmen is not Ursus. We came desperate to save our people, and the infected looking for a warm place with food and shelter. That's not Lungmen. From the beginning, it should not have been Lungmen. The people of Lungmen are also struggling to eke out a living. We should have gone back to Ursus, our homeland. Snow, a peaceful river, the pine forest gently swaying, the turquoise moss. This world, it's beautiful. So, you think Tallulah is the one who orchestrated it all? If I'm right, the plot is ready to unfurl. Even if old man Buldercasti could stall it for a while, Tallulah would have a way to deal with him. Lungmen can't do anything, and all Ursus can do is watch. But you're still here, and the infected still have a chance, even if only a small one. Go put an end to Tallulah, stop her madness, and don't let Reunion swallow up any more infected. Reunion doesn't need Tallulah, any Tallulah. Or I could make a selfish request. Go, save her. No, go help her, along with our countless fellow infected. The real one, walking on muddy earth, Tallulah. Frostnova? Go, ahead. I think your father really loves you. Just like you remember your birth parents dying for you. You remember clearly all that your father did for you. How could I not know? It's just, he's going to outlive me. How much better would it have been if he had never adopted me? That way he wouldn't have to feel all the pain I've brought him. He suffered so much. It is because he has suffered so much that he cherishes you. Doctor? I can call you that, can't I? Doctor of Rhode Island. Choices just might be meaningless in this world. Even so, even if the outcome makes no difference, I do want to choose for myself. I made my choice, with my own hands, to take the fruit of the seeds I have sown. fingers grope at your face. Huh. Your fingers are warm? Strange. Your face is cold. My body temperature is not so low anymore. You're warm, Frost Nova. I can finally touch someone before I die. Frost Nova, Amiya and I want you to join Rhode Island. Do I really deserve that? If you just die here and now, you won't have a chance to right your wrongs. It would be rude not to give your response. Tell Amiya, Doctor. In this world, a single person is worthless. But she's absolutely not alone. From now on, I am at your side. Both of you. I would like to join Rhode Island. Thank you. No. Thank you. Your eyes remind me of someone I used to know. I met a boy who said his brother would rather go to the gallows than beg for his enemy's mercy. So he was going to walk across the snowy plains. He was going to walk all of Ursus, and he didn't come with us. I thought he was the most idealistic person I'd ever met. But now you and Amiya changed my mind. Maybe ideals can be a kind of faith. You know, Rhode Island is all about fighting for shared beliefs. The original reunion was the same. Just the same. Your eyes and that boy's really look the same. Only you're not as determined as he was. You're so much gentler. Let me go. My brothers and sisters are waiting for me. Father, I've been such a fool. Forgive me. She slips down. The corners of her mouth turn up, haughty as she was when she lived. Right. Before I lose the thread here, let's move on to the final scene of episode 6. Titled Only You Know. Says, she has never forgotten about that night. Operation Defend Lungmen is complete. I repeat, Operation Defend Lungmen is complete. Police officers are asked to inventory their equipment, report to their stations, and return to their squads within 1 business day. Members of the LGD are asked to rendezvous with their squads and proceed to the LGD to await further orders. I repeat. What are you doing here? And what's that look on your face? Nothing. It's nothing. Oh. Stop. Where are you going? To see. No need to look. I've checked. There's nothing there. Is that right? Chen, it's fine. The battle is over. Out of the way, please, little Miss Swire. You've stopped Reunion and even the Special Forces. You've exposed them all to the LGD, Rhode Island, and even the censors all at once. You've stopped them. Get out of the way. You've done a good enough job, worthy of the Special Inspection Unit Chief. You can stop investigating. What more do you want to know? There's nothing more to know. I need to know what's going on. This business with the sewers, that's what you need to know about. Now you've done all you can. Take one more step and you're off to the other side of Lungmen. We can totally improve the city. We can rebuild. We can go and clear out all the stuff from the battle days. But Shen, don't go down there. Don't look. Sense of justice, sense of duty, sense of belonging. You've nailed them all. You've nailed them all. And you looked great doing it. Ashen! Get out of my way. It's because you're like this that you can't look. Someone told you not to investigate the sewers, right? Someone said the same thing to me. Then why do you keep investigating? No one wants you to see this. No one. That's not true. Lungmen wants me to see this. This is who I am. I have to see this. Swire, don't make me draw my sword. What's that smell? This... Oh, you're back. Did you catch the enemy commander, the infected known as Mephisto? Can you give an accurate statement? We need to report it, and if the enemy commander isn't dead... Wait, what are you where are you going? And, who's that you're holding? What the hell happened down there? An infected person died. The remnants of Reunion Squad should have successfully retreated by now. I don't know if this counts as the battle the White Rabbit wanted, though I'm not sure she much cared about that in the end. Regardless, she did it. White Rabbit, you were a stubborn one. Nice win? Win my ass. If we weren't dying, we'd all be charming ice sculptures by now. You survived, didn't you? You also got valuable combat experience. Experiences like that only come up later, but when someone dies in front of you, they never come back. I could have saved her. Has Amiya already gone to see the head of Lungmen? Yeah, probably. Just leave it to them. I don't care. Gravethroat, give me a hand. Huh? Why? Are you messing with me? Don't you see what's happening to me? Are you unable to stand? You look okay to me. Operator Greythroat, I kindly request that you help me up. I've lost a lot of blood, and I'm hypothermic. I look intact, but in fact, I'm dying. Please, assist me in returning to our vessel. Okay, you know what? Never mind. I don't want to bother you. Why? Aren't you leaving Rhode Island? No need to force yourself to work for Rhode Island anymore. Why? Huh? In that fight, I felt the pain of the infected. It was even more frustrating and hopeless than what's going on around us. I understand the pain of the infected, and I think we can stop these things from happening. I'm thinking you haven't seen enough old tragedy. Greythroat, let me ask you this. What's the difference between you and me? You're infected. If we died in that battle there, what's the difference between regular you and infected me? It's just a couple of dead bodies. Some people care whether they are elders or ancients, some care about the country they come from, some look at race, and others value wealth. I'm infected, but I've never given anyone the "oh, woe is me." Infected people are so oppressed crap. Nobody wants to hear it. Pick out anybody here in the slums, infected or uninfected. Nobody wants to hear it. The level of pain doesn't matter. I just wish we could look at the pain of the infected. Infected people are people too. It's as simple as that, and I don't want people looking at me like I'm a pitiful little animal. I'm out for an even look. on the level. Massacres, segregation, imprisonment, hard labor. I've seen it all, but what can I do to see the end of them? The White Rabbit did what I never could. She somehow showed me a true death struggle, the kind of terror she would show us even if there was only a fraction of a second thought. That kind of fortitude is enough to transcend any identity. If I were to go and fight Lungmen's soulless black raincoats right now, it'd be a walk in the park. Compared to the White Rabbit, they're nothing. Really? No, I told you already, I'm dying, Greythroat. But fighting to death for what you believe in? That's a solid ending. Bottom of my bucket list. Get a load of these two. Who? Dr. Anamia. Where's the doctor going? Off to Rhode Island to bury the White Rabbit. Well, it says burial, but it's really just disposing of the dead to prevent her from crystallizing, dusting, and causing secondary infections. We infected people deal with that all the time. At least as Rhode Island operator, I've come to trust the doctor. Greythroat, did you see the look in Doctor's eyes? It's those eyes that's what makes me trust somebody just like that. I saw it. I think it's still Amia's eyes that are scarier, though. Because those two are headed in different directions. Doctor is going to the infected crematorium, and Amia is off to Lungmen, to the new graveyard for the infected. I finally understand why Ace says Doctor is worth just as much as Amia and Kaltsit. So, where is Kaltsit? Kaltsit's wherever she's supposed to be. Okay, let's go. Since you're not going to leave Rhode Island, I'm going to ask you one more time. Please help me up. Why don't you wait for the medics to get here? Because I'm in real bad shape. Elite operators gotta look tougher than this. You'd rather die than look uncool for a minute. Why do you say things you know will hurt me? And do you know who's our support medic on this op? It's Gaviel. That Gaviel. She said she'd wash her hands and be right over. How do you feel about getting my blood splattered in your face? Give me your hand. I don't like blood. Then I suggest we walk a little faster. Right. If I hadn't saved those infected children, you wouldn't have saved me, and I wouldn't have had a chance to change my mind about infected people. That's another way the infected have inspired me. Huh. You screwed it up again. What does that have to do with me saving you? Lungmen Uptown, Chief Executive's office. Hello, I have an appointment with Mr. Wei. Can you take me in? Chief Wei's last meeting just ended. Please, come this way, miss. You are... Amia. Amia the infected. With that, we take our leave. Until next time. What do you think? I have seen his brutal methods. Business as usual on the surface. In truth, we all know. People of his kind are always like that. I do understand why he is the one guarding Lungmen. Infected, what are you doing here? No offense intended, this is also a guest of Mr. Wei's. I'm not here to ask anything of Mr. Wei. Miss Amia, at least do make yourself scarce for the moment. Your clothes, they indicate you are of Rhode Island, working with Lungmen. The infected should not stay long. Lungmen has been known to devour people. Thanks for the tip, but this world isn't picky about who it eats. Oh, then I should thank you for the warning. Do you know who she is? What are you plotting? Mr. Wei. Oh, Miss Amiya, I figured you'd come. The war was a success and Rhode Island deserves a lot of credit. Next, Lungmen will fulfill her contractual obligation to provide Rhode Island with necessary commercial assistance, among other things. No, thank you, Mr. Wei. I'm just here to cancel the contract. I am sorry. Does Rhode Island hate the old bait and switch so much? Is there any impropriety in what I have done? Please speak your mind. I will offer my sincerest apologies, Miss Amiya. Mr. Wei, you always act so polite and it leaves me a little overwhelmed. But I've seen your armed forces and your plans. Don't read too much into the war, Miss Amiya. This isn't a charge, is it? No, Mr. Wei, I have no power to charge you. I'm simply here to handle the post hoc formalities. Why do you want to terminate our agreement? Because I have determined that our partnership with Lungmen is not a good fit for Rhode Island. Mutual benefit isn't that good enough for a business enterprise. Even a business has its own development plan. Are you implying Lungmen owns something to the infected side of your business? No, Rhode Island has never had an infected side. Rhode Island isn't just fighting for the infected. I'm not just an infected person, I'm also part of the global community. Rhode Island has such expertise in dealing with the infected because many of our operators are themselves infected and know the experience and circumstances of the people. But trying to rid the land of the specter of horripathy never meant that we were fighting only for the infected. Mr. Wei, if you think we are just a simple and naive infected rights organization with an armed detachment, I would be very disappointed. A great misunderstanding. Rhode Island fights for all the people in this world. You, us, and them. Lungmen doesn't need our help. With the termination of this contract, Rhode Island will also leave Lungmen. Rhode Island has done its due diligence. It's all there in black and white. When we terminate the agreement, all the auxiliary clauses lose effect along with it. Rhode Island could take Lungmen's gracious bounty as a gift. No need, Mr. Wei. We in Rhode Island are more interested in the way our partners do business than their bounty. Mr. Wei, you have treated us as a pawn in your game from the beginning. Now that the pawn has proven its worth, our exit should be in accordance with your plans. However, Mr. Wei... Go on. If it was only Rhode Island that was being played, I would not terminate this contract. As strange as it may sound, I can understand mutual distrust between partners. It's just that we're not the only ones that Lungmen is hiding the truth from. The LGD, the people of Lungmen, the infected in the slums, none of them know the shady methods hidden behind the curtain. I heard you can read minds, Miss Amiya. You may assume that I can't, or that I can. Can I take your speculation as a warning rather than an interrogation? I'm not going to dictate Lungmen's strategy or future plans, Mr. Wei, but I have the power to prove my operators from I have the power to prevent my operators from participating in them. Mr. Wei, whether a Rhode Island operator, a member of the Reunion Movement, an exile from Chernobog, or a citizen of Lungmen, they are all living, breathing people. I don't think it's acceptable for their lives to be guided by secret machinations. I, on the other hand, believe that playing a role is far more important than whether or not one recognizes that role. No, you're wrong. Some things are, for Mr. Wei, perhaps too commonplace. Just like for the average person, quarantining an infected person is an ordinary thing, not worth discussing. But no matter how normal it is, it should not be treated as a normal thing. Simply because something has happened to us enough times, we become accustomed to it, and that makes it acceptable? That doesn't make sense. Otherwise, even if we eradicate horripathy, our conflicts will not diminish or die down. They will simply be
reappropriated to imprison and torment another group of people. Just no longer the so-called infected.
Is this a request or simply an ideal?
This is my standard. Mr. Wei, there is one more thing I must say. The living are not pawns. People are people.
Do you play chess, Miss Amiya?
Mr. Wei, do you play black or white?
Wei and Wu, what have you done? Officer Shen, I have a guest.
Officer Shen?
What have you done? Was it you?
No, it could only be you. It can only be you. The rat and her cunning father are at best a little ruse. Only you would dare to order this. I had thought that by defeating by reuniting all the people in Lungmen, we would eventually get through this. We could even bridge the misunderstanding between Lungmenites. I never imagined, but I should have. Once again, you reassert yourself as the master of Lungmen, as you always were. But still, how? How could you do such a thing? You tear down every obstacle, you burn everything in your path. To what do you finally bow your head? I know how you all feel about the infected, but why? Why? It's not just... You don't even dare take responsibility for it. Erase the name, erase the trail, erase the order, cover all your tracks. Wei and Wu, you and Lin should trade races.
You speak without thinking. Superintendent Shen, I have no idea what you're referring to. I do hope your explanation is convincing.
Okay, I'll cut to the chase then. Did you kill Tallulah father?
Officer Shen?
Did you force our mother to marry that cowardly man?
Who put such a thought in your head?
How about you take a guess?
Please, watch your tone of voice.
Lord Wei, who controls everything in Lungmen, suddenly realizes that a secret he's been hiding for years has long since ceased to be a secret.
Officer Shen, know your place. Guards!
It was Tallulah who told me. Of course, everything Tallulah knew, not many people knew in the first place. You're angry because you know this could threaten your rule. That old man, that Duke of Cachet, has been in your nightmares from the very beginning. And you've never felt even a little bit sorry for Tallulah, have you?
Officer Shen, don't speculate on facts you are not authorized to know, and don't thrust information from unknown sources. You're tired.
I certainly don't trust that old Duke. He almost destroyed all of Lungmen, and he's the one who kidnapped Tallulah.
So...
But I remember it well. It was a sunny day. That night there was no moon, only a few stars. That old man grabs Tallulah and stands on the other side of a broken bridge. And behind you stands a crowd of people in black raincoats. I trust Tallulah. I always trusted her. I knew she can be lied to as well, of course. But look at the kind of person you are. Sacrifice everything to get what you want.
Shen Yushi.
You want to clean up the slums? Even destroy them? So many Lungmenites who trusted us. So many Lungmenites who stood behind us all along. Is it because the infected don't count as citizens of Lungmen? Because they can't afford to live in your high-rises? Or is it because the people in the slums will one day live in peace with the infected? Are we really protecting Lungmen? Aren't you the one who is a threat to the city and her people? Don't think you can throw a couple of rats in front of you and get away with this. The Lins wouldn't dare to do this without your permission.
Miss Shen, you know nothing. What would I've done for Lungmen?
The thing that always annoyed me the most about you is this attitude you have, where you have to squeeze everything into your own grubby mitts. If the two of you could spare even a shred of free time, I would like you to hear a message. Dr. Kaltzit? Take a look at your terminal. I've sent the details over. Okay. What? I don't recall giving permission for you to enter my parlor, Dr. Rhode Island. I let her in. After so many years have passed, why are you still like this? Aren't you tired of hiding anything from her and doing it all yourself? Listen to our guest. We got the same message. You could have known 3 minutes earlier. Alright, Dr. Kaltzit, go ahead. The enemy's top commander was not present when we wiped out Reunion in Lungmen. This is simply because she was in Chernobog. She watched us, either calmly or with great consternation, but we paid her no attention at all. And now, a part of Chernobog, specifically its core, is approaching Lungmen. In 36 hours, the urban core of Chernobog will collide with Lungmen. That's a trifle. Lungmen has her ways to defend against nomadic cities and warships. A measly urban core is nothing to worry about. Why? We don't even have to. Are we on the same page, Chief Wei? Has it started? Spamming out urban identification codes? No. Yes, your intuition or presumption is correct. The urban core has been beaming codes non-stop. All of Lungmen's sub-cities have already been hit. The codes claim this city belongs to Ursus. Partial necrosis. End. Boy. This was a long ass chapter. My god. And my throat is killing me, even though it hasn't been the usual. Well, it has been about the usual time of recording, but oh boy. This has been a long chapter. Oh. But yeah. Like I said at the beginning, I want to give my thoughts here at the end, considering the stories from here on out become pretty dense when it comes to main story, and some side stories, especially part 2s, are also pretty dense for that regard. But boy, what can I say? The fucking build up for this whole chapter towards the end of this chapter, all the way going from episode 4, technically. Episode 4 being just the first introduction to Yeti Squad and proper introduction to Lungmen, furthermore then expanding throughout it. And this this episode in particular, I love it to bits. I love when a story doesn't have like cookie cutter villains. Let's call them villains for now, because that's what they are from our perspective. But well, what they are from our perspective is a stretch also to say, but that's what they're categorized as, technically. But I love when a story can make me understand where the enemy side is coming from. When the enemy side isn't just, oh, I'm evil for the sake of evil, kind of thing. While, yes, characters who are just evil for the sake of evil can be good if properly also written around, but I do usually prefer, or rather mostly prefer, the kind that gets properly explained to why they are the way they are. I mean, this entire episode was pretty much that, or rather the last, including this one, the last 3 whole episodes. And I'm not talking about the uploads, by the way, I'm talking about the actual in-game episodes, have been pretty much humanizing, so to speak, the enemy side. Even Crazy Pants Mephisto, this chapter alone pretty much shown a giant, even though it was just one prominent cutscene for him,
has shown a pretty much big spotlight on his life prior to to him and Faust joining Reunion, his importance, or rather his Faust's importance in his life, and why he is now in pretty much a mentally dead state, being carried around by people who don't care a single inch about him, but are respecting the people who told them to just carry him out and save his life. And then we have Frost Nova and the Yeti squad, and I love those moments between just the banter between Yeti and the Rhode Island team. Just so casual. I love it. And then Frost Nova pretty much explaining where she's coming from, what she did in her life so far. It was just great. It was just great. And I think this is one of the rare chapters that doesn't have a lot of typos, at least stuff that I didn't really notice. I think there was one instance where there was like a double up word, which is like nothing. But yeah, all I can say is I love this chapter to bits, and this was, I think this is from what I remember in the past when this chapter got dropped, and for newer people who are watching this and listening to this, who are just now experiencing the story either through this series for the first time or experience it themselves. If I remember right, it was from episode 5 where they started, that wasn't in the game, that was later added slowly over time. Episode 6 was definitely dropped way later into the game, and so on and so forth. But it just shows they had time to write. They had time to properly write out a story, and a very good one at that. A very, very good one. While it might be confusing when it keeps jumping, at least, especially in this part, when it keeps jumping back and forth between Chernobog and the current timeline in Lungmen, it's still understandable when you realize, oh, this is from back then. Might have been. I do remember when I was reading originally, this chapter was slightly confusing because it has been, for me back then, it has been a couple of months between like episode 4 and episode 7 when that one was dropped. So remembering what happened in episode 4 and oh yeah, right, they were back in Chernobog at certain parts as well. So this is covering all of those bits and pieces. But yeah. But man, what a freaking ending for Frost Nova, and those musical tracks that play alongside those bits. So good. I love it. This is pretty much the, would you call it a trifecta of story writing, music? Well, not really. The one thing that is missing, I would say, would be actual voice acting, not me doing the reading here. But yeah, man, I cannot imagine I cannot wait to see this whole scene again when the anime drops. Probably next year. They haven't given a date yet, but I'm just gonna presume it's gonna be next year, considering they have not said anything so far, at least, about the date. But yeah, cannot wait to see this whole thing animated and voice acted by proper voice actors. I am sure I'm not gonna cry like a little bitch once more when the scene comes up, especially towards the later parts. And yeah, the whole well, so far the game did definitely have good music, especially at the more like heartfelt moments. At least they picked decent enough music for them, but here they really went out of their way to bring it out, and I love that. I love when the music plays along and just pumps up a moment, or makes you feel. Like that one musical note hits. And as I'm still playing currently through Xenoblade 3 and have not played but watched the other two, when music cues hit in certain scenes, it just elevates the whole fucking thing so much more. Like, oh, you can fucking feel it. But yeah, it was great, and it's just gonna get better from here. This chapter alone was essentially this game's like, hey, we have a good writing staff, please pay attention, thank you very much. But yeah, I think now I need a small break. I need to recover my vocal cords for the rest of the evening. Probably gonna just chill the hell out and have some warm tea with honey to smoothen out the vocal cords, because otherwise I'm gonna suffer tomorrow. But yeah, anyway, as I said at the beginning, for everybody who has watched the previous part, has left a comment, like, and a subscription, thank you very much. I can say I will continue, and I'll probably at some point have to do like a special episode, maybe like a like a thank you episode, just go over it. Probably like a thank you episode going over like an account tour. Would that be interesting to see the account of someone who isn't like a full-on hardcore player investing a shit ton into skills of characters, but does it the other way around, where I invest, as you might have noticed if you peruse the channel, invest into a lot of characters who have story scenes tied to them, more so than just getting their skills up. So if anybody's still listening to this part at the end, if you are interested to maybe see an account tour at some point as like a special episode, in part thanking for subscriptions and stuff like that, tell me. I will be interested to hear about that. But yeah. Anyway, I hope... Usually this is where I say I hope everybody had fun with this episode, but I hope everybody had fun with this episode. I sure had to reel myself back a couple of times. I don't know how audible the slight vibration in the voice was at certain moments. Was really reeling myself in just to not break narration. But yeah, anyway, I hope everybody had fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a laugh, if any, during this episode. And I hope you have a fantastic day. And I will see you in the next episode. But until then, bye-bye.